You're listening to Westchester Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative. We stream live at WestchesterTalkRadio.com. We're made possible by our SharkCast sponsors, including Hightower Westchester, Fiduciary Wealth Advisors, Robeson, the house that Service built, LaPolis Electric, don't be left in the dark, Michael Labriola, Landscape Design and Construction, Tompkins Mahopac Bank, and White Plains Hospital. Thank you, everybody on the front line. Well, welcome to another episode of The Sports Report with a hyper focus today on Salem Golf Club, one of my favorites. We're here today with head golf professional Kevin Breen. Kevin, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm okay. I know it's been a while. We were trying to get together, and I'm happy to have you on the show today. Tell us, Kevin, let's just get right into it. You're over at Salem Golf Club, but give us a little background about you, Kevin, and where you came from. And let's talk a little bit about the passion that you have for this wonderful sport we call golf.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, so I grew up in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, on a municipal golf course. Lived on the 14th hole, so I kind of grew up with golf in my blood. My parents played a little bit, but I just kind of did my own thing. I had a $180 municipal public course membership, and I just played golf every day. My first experiences in golf were selling golf balls back to the guys who hit the balls in the water in the lakes. So I'd collect balls and put them in egg cartons and sell them back to them for $1 a piece. So
an entrepreneur at a young age. Nice. Good
exactly,
for you.
Yeah. So I did that, 14, 15 years old. And then once I was old enough to start working, I was actually working at the course, mowed greens, picked the range, cleaned carts, and, did all that stuff, and kind of really got to understand certain parts of golf and kind of wanted to continue into that. So from there, I actually I played on the golf team at my high school, Stroudsburg High School. And then from there, I knew I wanted to get into some type of business. So I went to Penn State Wilkes-Barre, which was obviously Wilkes-Barre branch campus of Penn State, spent 1 year doing business there. Went out to visit a friend at the university main campus, and he told me about the program. It's called Professional Golf Management. It's basically a business where you concentrate in the golf operations. So you take classes like, golf cart fleet management, teaching, merchandising, and all that. So by the time I graduated, I had my PGA membership. Through those 16 months, or through the 4 years at Penn State, I had to do 16 months of internships. So basically the school says, why don't you go work at a public course, a private course, and a resort course, and figure out which one, fits you best. And then from there, you can kind of decide where you want to go after you graduate. So I did internships at the golf course at Glen Mills outside of Philadelphia, which at one time was the #1 public course in Pennsylvania. Then I was at Ridgewood Country Club in New Jersey for a season, and then I was at Century Country Club down in Westchester.
Yep, saw that. Mm-hmm.
So I did that. That was all through college, and then right when I finished school, the school actually had a program where they were offering for graduates to go to New Zealand. So I went and worked at a golf course in New Zealand for 6 months called Curry Cliffs, which was a amazing experience, to say the least.
I could only imagine. Absolutely.
Yeah, my first winter after graduating, I went with 7 friends from college, and we all worked at the 2 different golf courses there. Both of them are incredible, top 50 in the world, some of the best views you'll ever see. So that was a really cool experience.
Kevin, I'm hearing you say it's pretty amazing to be able to sort of be passionate about something early in your life, as you have been, and you've been able to weave that into your profession. Not
Right.
Everybody gets that fortunate where they sort of start out in something that they end up pursuing.
Right.
And here you are. And I'll be the one to say, I read through here, and it looks like, you qualified for the 2020 PGA National Championship. You were a medalist of the 2019 New York State Open qualifier, top 10 in the 2019 Met Professional Championship, and tied for 15th in 2019 Long Island Open. You also have 6 hole-in-ones.
Yep.
Which, for golfers, look, we know you've got to be good to get a hole-in-one. You've got to be lucky as well. Those two things come together, but you've done it 6 times.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, three of them were in events too, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, you could be a very good golfer, go your whole entire life. I'm thinking of my dad, as a matter of fact, who has played many rounds of golf. He's come close, but he's never gotten one.
Right.
And there are many people like that. So
I don't have the double eagle like you.
This is true. I do have one. I know I mentioned that to you. An albatross, they call it in Europe, and a double eagle here. But Kevin, tell us. So how did you get to Salem Golf Club? Let's focus in on Salem. And I've had the pleasure of playing there. I've brought some people there, and I just think it's a magnificent course. What exactly is your role there, and what do you tell us a little bit about this year and some of the things that the members can enjoy while they're there at Salem?
Right. Yeah. I quickly do want to go through. I kind of stopped in my internships, but this all kind of leads up to Salem. I did spend 2 years at Century Country Club as an assistant golf professional. Then I went to Old Mark and Palm Beach Gardens, and I would spend the winters there for 5 seasons between there and Deepdale Golf Club out on Long Island. So all of that experience kind of led me to applying for this job here at Salem Golf Club. So the things that attracted me, obviously an assistant golf professional, their ultimate goal is usually to either be a head professional, director of golf, or a teaching professional. I wanted to go more into the head professional route. So the things that led me towards Salem Golf Club specifically were, I've heard the membership was great. They have a very high golf IQ, great tournament schedule. There's a single owner who's been great to me, very supportive of, making Salem a better place. The management here is great. Angelisa, who I think did this interview with you last year, we're both young blood. We both are really eager to make this place, the best it can be. And besides that, just the golf course. It's an amazing golf course. And over the past couple of years with our new superintendent, Tom Reyes, who actually worked with the Century Country Club prior to this, has done a great job and really turned the course around from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of really nice changes. Playing the golf course, it's got, you got the front nine, the back nine, two different types of feelings that you get. I think behind me here is looks like the back nine, back part of the golf course. Are there any other plans that members and future members can look forward to that you're aware of about the actual golf course itself?
Yeah, so we're constantly looking at ways to improve the course. Right now we're talking about really revamping the practice facilities and working on getting new range mats, maybe installing an actual giant range mat down there, which make it much easier to practice, a little more room down there, and kind of working on our short game area. We're going to concentrate on that over this winter because we do have a lot of members that really like to practice, and they're spending a lot of time here and maybe can't play a full 4-hour round, and they can come over at least here in the evenings and have really nice mats to hit off of new golf balls, short game area where they can hit off normal turf and dial in their short game. And we have a giant putting green here too that's always available for member use. So
do you have any particular holes that fancy you?
I really like the stretch of like 13, 14, 15, 13 climbing up the hill there with the church pew bunkers, kind of Oakmont and the look that they have. That one's really good coming up the hill. Then you have the dogleg left 14, par 5 that, if you hit a really good drive down there, you can get there in 2. And then 15, of course, with the signature tree in the middle of the fairway. You got to hit a good drive to give yourself a chance at the green.
Let's talk about the tree for a second, because anytime I ever play there, everybody that comes there for the first time always says, why is there a tree in the middle of the fairway? What was the inspiration behind that? Do you know?
I couldn't actually tell you what the inspiration is. I know there's a lot of good and famous golf courses that do have trees in the middle of the fairway. So it's not that it's abnormal, but people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it builds a little character. And,
Right.
I've been unfortunate once or twice where you're just right behind it.
Right.
That's not that you're not happy about that when that happens.
You got to hit it a little
Um,
further past the tree.
yeah, I like to believe most of the time I do, but sometimes, I'm not as good as you. You're a professional. You're much more consistent. Um, to be a professional, what other things do you have to do, Kevin, to keep your game sharp? What other accreditations do you need? Just tell us a little bit more about what it's like to be a pro.
Yeah. So, through the winter, I spend a lot of time, going down to the PGA show. It was canceled last year. It's down in Orlando, Florida. It's basically where all the vendors come together and you place your orders for the following year. They have a ton of, classes down there you can take, learning more about the rules of golf, learning about, merchandising, making yourself better at that, better at teaching. So there's constant, and the golf swing, is constantly changing with, ideas. So you really have to stay up on those things and make sure you're kind of at the forefront of all those things. And if you don't do your research for a year, you could fall behind and be, teaching
I'm
incorrect
sure.
things. So, that's definitely something that I try to do a lot over the winter. With your PGA membership, you have what's called MSR credits, which are basically, learning classes. So over every 3 years, you have to satisfy a certain amount of those credits to make sure that you're maintaining your PGA membership. So, but as a golf pro, you do everything. That's partially why I love it. You come into
Mhm.
one day you're running a tournament, one day you're ordering clothes for next spring. One day
Mhm.
you're playing 18 holes with a member when they just pull you out. One day you're teaching for 8 hours straight.
Mm.
One day you're running an outing for 120 players for Capital One or something. It's random. So
Mhm. Mhm.
I do like that part of it, and kind of never knowing what your day is going to be until you get there.
Nice. So it sounds like there's a nice mix of opportunities to weave in your passion for golf and helping other people too, right? I'm sure you get
Most
some
definitely.
satisfaction out of seeing some of the members' games, go from a 20 handicap to a 10 or whatever.
Definitely.
How much time are you spending teaching on an
Um,
average?
in when I was at Deepdale, I didn't have as much responsibility as I do now. So I really try to block off my book at certain hours to make sure that I'm here for the members and around to meet guests and things like that. So I try to limit it to no more than 3-4 hours a day, so that I'm around the members and able to get my other work done. But in years past, sometimes at Deepdale I would do 8-9 hours lessons in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Some days you'd have 0, and some days you'd have 8. So it really changed. And again, that's why I kind of loved what I was doing, because it never got stale. You're always doing something different. So
Mm-hmm. I have to ask you, so
I
with
do
all the
love
golf,
teaching. I do love
yeah,
teaching and have a deep passion for it.
I know that you do, and otherwise you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing. But with all the golf that's around you, um, how often do you get to just go out to play your own way, like with someone that you just wanted to go out and play with outside of the membership? Does that happen for you at all?
This year's been a little bit tough, just because your first year as a head professional, you're stepping into a pretty big role, and you want to be here all the time and make sure that everything's going the way that you want it. I think that getting into next season, I really plan to do that more. But in season, I really try to play once a week with the members, at least,
Mm-hmm.
and then kind of go out and putt with the phone in my pocket. Pro shop's right next to the putting green, so I'll go out there for 20 minutes every day, or go hit balls for 5 minutes, or pop out in the back nine and play 5 holes by myself or something. So but as far as playing with my friends, I can't tell you this year the last time I really got out to play a fun round with the boys.
Well, keep working on your skills. Keep up the good work. We've been talking with head golf professional Kevin Breen over at Salem Golf Club. This has been the Sports Report on Westchester Talk Radio. Kevin, any final words you want to leave our listeners with about Salem in general, or if someone has an interest in joining the club, what can they do? How do they go about it? I've been flashing some pictures behind me. There's a really beautiful pool that was just put in a few years ago. I had another photo of the clubhouse behind me where there's a lot of activity that goes on, right? Lots of
Right.
parties are being hosted. And then, of course, do you have the golf membership?
Yeah,
What can
most
people do,
definitely.
Kevin?
Yeah, so some of the real benefits of being a member here are, there's no tee times, which is a huge thing that our members like. So they can kind of just show up at any time, even with guests, and go out and get a spot on the golf course. We have, like I said, we have great range and practice facilities. We have 3 PGA professionals where we can do individual lessons. We do an 8-week junior camp from like mid-June to mid-August. Ladies clinics. So some of our male members who have a wife who's kind of just getting into golf, they have some availability to come down and meet 5, 6, 7 women who are all kind of at the same level. Kind of a judgment-free zone, and let them learn golf without being embarrassed. So. We obviously we have the pool, we have the golf simulator, the gym, we have the Pilates studio up there. So that about 3 or 4 years ago they built that whole pool building. That's been great. We actually have a sports membership where you can just join the pool for those months in the middle of the summer. We have, new to this year, we have these things called tempo walks, which is basically it's a electronic caddy that will follow you on the golf course.
It's like R2D2.
It is.
It's like a little R2D2 following you around the golf course.
Yeah, you put a little clip on your back belt and throw your clubs on there. It's got a little iPad on there, so it gives you your distance to the green. So you can cruise along. A lot of people, they want to walk, but they don't want to carry their bag. So this is a great option for them. We have the golf board, which is that skateboard looking thing, scooter that you can drive around on. Then we have, pretty much brand new carts with the GPS that have the Shark experience on it, which is pretty cool. So then we have the Pro Shop here. Pro Shop's fully stocked with, some of the leading brands. We have Mizuno, TaylorMade, Callaway club fitting system, so we can custom club fit any of the members who need new sticks. Then we have a great tournament schedule. We have tournaments every week or two. Member guest, ladies member guests, club championships. We just had a Ryder Cup last weekend, which was a 2-day event. Younger members versus older members. So we have a lot of fun stuff here, and we hope to continue to innovate and make new ideas.
Well, with you there and Angelisa and all the great folks at Salem Golf Club, I'm sure a lot more wonderful things are ahead. As you've been hearing, really, Salem Golf Club has a lot to offer. Kevin, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, head golf professional. Again, you've been listening to Westchester Talk Radio, produced by Shark Creative. Make sure to click the subscribe button on YouTube under Shark Creative for more locally inspired stories just like this one, spotlights on the community in Westchester. And all of our series run every day on WestchesterTalkRadio.com. And the video cast like this one will be found on our YouTube channel at Shark Creative, also on our webcast page at WestchesterTalkRadio.com. Kevin Breen, nice to see you. I'll see you soon before the season is out for sure.
Thanks for having me, Andrew.
You got it.